Kaunas is a city with a double bottom. And the best place to start uncovering its layers is right here on Laisvės alėja. It's one of the longest pedestrian streets in Europe, nearly 2 kilometers of very big history. But few people know that this was originally a massive military project. Back in the 19th century, when Lithuania was part of the Russian Empire, Kaunas was turned into a fortress city. This avenue was laid out as the Grand Nicholas Avenue, designed to connect the new part of town with that massive church you see at the end of the perspective. Back then, buildings weren't allowed to be higher than 3 stories, so they wouldn't block the view of the fortress defences. Here's a cool fact. These linden trees aren't just for decoration. In the golden era of the 1920s and 30s, when Kaunas became the temporary capital of Lithuania, this was where the country's fate was decided. The bohemians and diplomats gathered at the famous Conrad Cafe, and a walk down the avenue was the ultimate social ritual. If you weren't seen here on a Saturday night, you basically didn't exist in society. In 1919, after Lithuania gained independence, the street was renamed Laisvės alėja, Liberty Avenue. Now, let's look at the main landmark, the Church of St. Michael the Archangel. Locals simply call it Soboras, and it holds our first big mystery. Just look at it. It looks like a typical Orthodox church. And it was, built in 1895 for the Russian garrison. But there's a twist. After the empire fell, the church changed its confession. It became a Catholic church for Lithuanian soldiers. Imagine the architectural irony. Byzantine domes on the outside, but Catholic altars on the inside. The most fascinating part happened during the Soviet era. The authorities didn't dare to tear it down, but they wouldn't allow prayers either. Can you guess what was here? A warehouse, then a gym, and later, a gallery of stained glass and sculpture. Imagine basketball hoops or paintings where the altar used to be. Instead of a choir, people heard lectures on art history. Today, it's a functioning Catholic church once again. But this church has a truly dark mystery beneath it. Under these floors lie massive basements. In the late 19th century, they were used as storerooms and shelters for fortress soldiers. Today, it houses one of the most unusual spots in Lithuania, the Museum for the Blind. It's an underground labyrinth in total darkness. You walk through, navigating only by sounds, smells, and touch. It's not just an installation, it's a way to feel the world differently. They say people still find World War I artifacts in these damp cellars, lying under the heavy foundations of the cathedral for decades. If you walk just a bit past the church, Liberty Avenue leads you to two heroes every child in Lithuania knows: Stepanas Darius and Stasys Gurinas. In 1933, these two daring guys decided to do the impossible: fly across the Atlantic from New York to Kaunas in a tiny orange plane called Lithuanica. No radio, no parachutes, just pure grit and faith in their country. They almost made it. They were only 3 hours away from Kaunas, where a crowd of 25,000 was waiting, but the plane tragically crashed in the forests of Germany. This tragedy turned them into national icons. And right behind their monument stands the Darius and Gurina Stadium. It's a place of power that recently underwent a massive reconstruction. Now it looks like a futuristic spaceship that landed among ancient oak trees. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. Which riddle of Kaunas should we uncover next? Carpe diem, catch the moment, and never forget where you're coming from.